Hello, WP Campus community. Good morning. It's Amber Hinds. I am one of the organizers. It is bright and early, 8 a.m. for me. I've got my coffee and I am hanging out today with Ziv Geurts. Hopefully I said that right. From Elementor. He is the customer success relief manager there, and he's going to chat a little bit with us today because Elementor is one of our wonderful sponsors. So Ziv, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Elementor, just in case there's anyone who's been living under a rock and doesn't know what it is?
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you for having us over here, Amber. It's very important to us to give back to the WordPress community. My name is Ziv, and for whoever doesn't know what Elementor is, it's an open source web creation platform on WordPress. Technically, it's a live drag and drop editor where you can build and you can customize a website, every part of your website with the visual builder. And on a higher level, it really empowers web creators to build websites and also to build a success. So that's it in a nutshell.
And it's in the technical terms, it's a plugin, but you guys also have a theme, right?
The Hello theme, yes.
Okay, yeah, but you can use Elementor with any theme.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Cool. So who do you think benefits the most from your front end drag and drop builder experience?
Well, it's built for web creators and professionals. There might be beginners or there might be advanced, but they're good at web building, website building, and they have knowledge and a background in that. But also for beginners, they can get started with it, and we've got a lot of materials to help you get started. From freelance projects to agency, multiple projects, basic websites, and advanced sites. So if you're a web creator or you're an aspiring web creator, then Elementor will definitely benefit you with where you're going and with the projects that you take on.
Yeah, I know so I don't work in higher ed, but I work in an agency that works with a lot of universities. And I know we frequently have departments or colleges, when we're building the site for them, they ask for something like Elementor. And so we put it on, and it saves us time sometimes because we don't have to code as much. So it's like, oh, our content specialist can do some initial setup, whereas before we might have to have our developer do all of it, right? But I think in the long run, it's really helpful for the staff or the faculty member who's going to be maintaining the site that has zero they don't know technical. Some of them may have been in WordPress already. They might have had a WordPress website. Other times they were in a custom content management system or Drupal maybe, or something really basic where they were just copying and pasting things in from Word, but it didn't look super great. So I know that's one thing I feel the faculty and staff love it because it's so much easier. They're like, oh, I get now how I put things in columns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you feel on your end, the benefits of a front end page builder are specifically for colleges and universities? Do you guys have any case study examples or anything that you've heard of?
Where universities use Elementor for the workshops. First of all, we'd love universities to adopt Elementor and colleges to use that for their projects. And there's actually a lot in the community that do that. Our new Elementor educator program also reaching out to a lot of educators around the world that already teach Elementor in marketing classes, building landing pages. Elementor, what would benefit the build is that they really you can really create high quality WordPress websites and landing pages. And so that's the visual aspect. But then, also on a business level, you can also make sure that they perform well. So I guess you can use it for workshops, projects, courses. And the cool thing about it is that you can rapidly create and reuse elements, templates, pages, and also styles. So you free up time And when you free up the time, you can focus on deeper skills. So if it's like a business class, marketing, entrepreneurial project, maybe even communications, interactive, visual, you can easily build the page, and you can also test it. So you've got A/B testing, where you can use third-party plugins, Hotjar, Google Optimize. You can create landing pages to collect leads. You can create funnels. So there's a lot of different things you can do with that on an educational level. And another big benefit is that we're really investing a lot in our educational materials. We already have a tremendous support from the community, got a lot of online resources, and like I mentioned before, the educators program, we also steering that and seeing how that and all the communities around the world, how that is coming to fruition. And also our brand new academy itself is a big benefit, because we've centralized all of the educational materials to get really quick answers and to be able to advance as a web creator. So I think that there are many benefits for colleges and universities to use it as a tool as well, to educate, and to prepare for the real what's it called? To prepare for the real world.
Yeah. So that's interesting that people are teaching it in university classes now, like marketing, in the marketing or communications department or something like that. You're hearing that people are teaching how to use Elementor as part of their class.
Yeah, when I started off, also I studied interactive communications and business, and it was wireframing and Axure and low fidelity, and being able to quickly create something that looks great and you can test it really adds to getting the interest of students, and being able to to work on projects together in a team, and to simulate real life projects that happen in the industry. And so it's we're very happy to see that, and we definitely would like to see that more.
Yeah, that's really cool. Tell me a little bit about the Elementor Academy. That's on your website. Can anyone access that? Do they need to join? Do you have to purchase
the paid free
version? It's all free? Yes.
So you can go to elementor.com, and then you can do elementor.com/academy. It's new. Okay, so this is the first stage, but what it is the official home for Elementor's educational content. So all of the formats and all of the types that are out there, we've centralized that. We offer a comprehensive learning experience, and the main mission is to empower our users, that they learn how to use Elementor and WordPress. And it's not only Elementor, there's also business related content, and we're working to improve that and to create more content all the time, because we know that Elementor success is, and it sounds kitschy, but it's like really bound to our users' success. And when you're looking for to learn something, people like to see a video, and it's a powerful medium to learn things and to quickly get quick answers, and it's also enjoyable. So you invest your time into learn a tool that will bring value to your life. But currently, educational content scattered everywhere around the web. There's different channels with information and groups and questions and answers, and it's very saturated, and a lot of questions go unanswered. So now we've got a place where all of our users can come to, and aspiring web creators, they'll find everything that they need in one place, and it's very structured. It's catered to different levels and also different types of users. So I'd really like to invite you to go check it out. There's different topics. You can search by topic, Elementor related, design and layout, dynamic design, forms, integrations, motion effects, a lot more. And also, if you're looking for a type of educational material, which could be a course or a short video or a webinar, you can also search and filter by those formats. And also, we are actively working on building the business-related materials library. So any SEO questions, conversion optimization, content marketing, even getting clients, will all be there available for you to read up about and to learn about. So, the variety itself makes sure that you can really learn in the way that suits you most. Also, like I said, you can use the filter option. So if you've got a question about, I don't know, responsive design, you'll be able to see like responsive design, all the videos listed. If you want to filter by a specific format, or if you want to see only docs, we've integrated the help center as well. You can also filter by that. So I invite you to check it out. There's a lot over there. And also, we've got a dedicated team of like designers, narrators, and editors, and professional Elementorists. All they're working on projects all the time to provide our users with the best possible educational material. And yeah, so also it's the first phase of the Academy. And yeah, in the future, we've got many ideas regarding really perfecting this. And we'd like to invite you as well to have an active input in in this. We'd like to hear what our users want. We can change it. We can do things. We can improve it.
Yeah, I think that's great. I love too that you're including stuff that's not just necessarily like, how to build this kind of section on your page, right? That you're also doing the business or the SEO or those sorts of articles, which I think so many people use and benefit from and need to have that kind of educational content. So that's really fabulous.
Very important.
I think I actually was on there recently. I'm going to skip a question I told you and come back to it because I feel like this is a great segue in. I was looking at, you guys have an article about how to build more accessible websites with Elementor, which I think might be in your academy that I looked at a couple of weeks ago. And, accessibility is huge for colleges and universities. So I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about accessibility in Elementor and provide some tips maybe on how people can make more accessible websites when they're using Elementor.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, we've got, a lot of blog posts, and also we create a lot of content, not only about Elementor, but everything around it, the whole ecosystem, everything that's involved in the project, from start to finish. So it's important to guide our users with that and provide them with the correct information. And regarding accessibility, it's very important, to make sure, for us, we see it as our responsibility to enable the users, the web creators, to be able to make their websites more accessible. People with various disabilities, they should be able to easily use the website's content. And as a bonus, also a better accessibility also increases your SEO rankings, reach. So that's it's a win-win. And so not a lot of people maybe know, or they do. We have an open source accessibility plugin called One Click Accessibility, with many helpful accessibility features. You just install it. There's really a minimum amount of setup needed, and also not a lot of expert knowledge. So that's our open source project. We're actively working on that.
And that does things like it adds skip links. It can add some tools for like changing font size and color contrast, exactly. Right?
When just talking about Elementor, the editor, it's there are a lot of things you can do to make your sites more accessible, because it enables you to have like a fine-grained control over page elements. Just like you said, font size, you can use REM instead of pixels. So doing that, you can ensure that the page will always, the font size will always look good. And readable. Readability is the most important thing by using REM instead of pixels. Also contrast, being able to use the style options to make sure that there's enough contrast between the background and the foreground colors. Technically, screen readers, so adding alt attributes on the images. Also like ARIA labels, adding ARIA labels on button links, to make sure that there's context. Which you can do with Elementor Pro's custom attributes feature. Another big thing is forms. To be able to tab through all of the fields. So the Elementor form widget really takes care by this. You can press the tab just to go through all of the fields and shift tab to go back. So that we are actively working on improving widgets all the time to make sure it's accessible. Another example, audio, autoplay audio and video. We give controls so you can pause the play functionality of the videos, and it's a lot more, and it's very important to us to make sure that accessibility is accounted for.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I know that was one thing I don't think I had realized about the ARIA labels. And then we had a client that had Elementor on their website, and I was like, you have all these buttons that say learn more. We have to figure out how to make them less ambiguous, right? Like, so that they know there's a difference between where the first learn more goes and the second learn more. And yeah, I was looking around, and that's when I found that article, and I was like, this is so great that you just have the ARIA label as an option that we can stick in, because of course we had Elementor Pro on the website already. So it's super great. And I also saw too earlier this year, didn't you, there was an experiment that you released that will improve some of the markup around some of like the tab widget and some of those things.
The tab. Yeah. We've got active experiments going on where we test out cutting edge features. We give access to users as well. And part of that is also accessibility. So there's a lot going on in the development regarding that, and to make sure that we are at least ahead of the game, and we know what's wanted and needed, and we make sure that we can implement that and provide that to the users.
That's fabulous. So, so one of the things I was going to ask you about as well, when you've got a website that has multiple contributors and you have a really powerful tool like Elementor, it's awesome. They can do all kinds of things, but they can also sometimes make decisions from a branding perspective that aren't super great. So do you have any like secrets to like helping maintain brand standards when you're using Elementor?
Yeah, there are a lot of tools that you can use to make sure that the brand standards are maintained. For example, one of the things is just assigning user roles. So if you don't want a template to be affected or changed, you don't want the global colors or fonts to be changed, then you can just give them access to changing content, so text, titles, images, maybe. Just to make sure that all the rest is unaffected. You can also...
Sorry to interrupt. Would that be like a author or an editor user role? Like who yes. can actually edit the global colors? Do they have to be an administrator, or what's that breakdown?
For what I think on the top of my head, it's...
I'm throwing you a question.
That's a good one. I'm going to check it. No, I think it's administrator, and because of course global colors and fonts is very, very powerful feature and shouldn't be played around with, because making one change, for your titles, suddenly everywhere across all your landing pages will change. So it will affect your campaign, and it will affect. So that's something that I definitely put in administrator level. I don't know, but I'll check that. And also it's you can use kits to maintain your brand standards when you're designing. They've got the import export feature where you can back up websites, and you can export specific websites and use them as a blueprint, or like a blueprint for a new project where you can reuse them. So and I think in general it's very important to understand that when you're working on a project, for example, two people are working on the same page, it's very important to know that when you take over and you make changes, that it's going to be affected. But of course, we've got revisions, we've got the history where we can go over all of that, and we've got the auto backup, etc. But communication is very important when you're working together on projects. Also at Elementor, when we're working on in-house projects. So yeah. Yeah, I think the revision history is really good. I know we've had to go in there and somebody's like, this is broken, and we're like, I wonder why. Oh, look, you did that. And blame somebody. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, I know you guys said that just in general, you're really into supporting the WordPress community, but what got you interested, your team, in sponsoring WPCampus?
First of all, we believe in WordPress, and it's very important to teach that as well. And we really want to just give back to the WordPress community. And unfortunately, during these times now, it's it's online, so which is very it's not that it's not what it's supposed to be, but it's very important for us to be active in that WordPress community, and to be available to show ourselves and take questions and get the feedback and hear what our community where they are going to and what they want, etc. So it's very important for us to be in the field and to use that to communicate that back. Especially at the customer success department, our teams, it's very important to us to know what's going on out there, because it directly affects the content and the quality of our educational materials and projects. So yeah.
And so you guys you're in Israel, and there's like a ton of holidays going on right now. Are you going to be around next week? If somebody wants to get a hold of you, will you be in WPCampus Slack, or what's the best way for someone to get a hold of you if they want to learn more about Elementor or chat some more?
I need to check that for you, Sam. I need to get back about that. I've got some holidays plans with my family, but I'm going to check that for you. And I'm always available for like text messages, Slack. I'm sure there will be a group. I'll double check that just to be sure, to find out exactly what's going on that day. But yeah, it's
and of course anyone can go to elementor.com, right, if they want to learn more about Elementor.
Elementor.com/academy.
/academy. That's right. That's the top place to go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ziv. It's been tons of fun talking to you, and I love hearing what's going on with Elementor, and we really appreciate your sponsorship and being part of the community.
100%. It was a pleasure, and thank you again. And